Season 21 made all of the Last Wish weapons craftable, and since these weapons have one of the best perk pools in the whole damn game, everyone is going to be flocking to this raid for sure. So, for those doing this raid for the first time, or maybe you need a refresher, here is every Last Wish encounter explained. Capture plates corresponding to the symbols in the middle. Start damage when a message appears stating KALLI conceives an ontological weapon. Once KALLI starts charging up, doors will open on the side or symbol she is at for protection. Damage phase is split into 3 sections, corresponding to the 3 symbols captured. Repeat steps above to continue to the next damage phase. Alright, so we're going to show you what that looks like in a visual representation. So if you make your way to the middle here, you're going to have 3 sets of 2 symbols. Ba ba ba. Each plate captured is 3 doors to that corresponding side. So we were 3-manning this, so we only had to capture 1 plate. Obviously, if you're 6-manning it, you'll each have to capture both symbols for that side. The plates are going to be surrounding the room. You'll notice in the back of the room there are symbols there. Those are plates over there. So I think what I do is, I go over here to the right, and I'm going to capture this figure 8 snake symbol. How that is set up is you're going to stand on a third of the plate that is not covered in corruption or blight. Those kind of work like bombs. If you're there when they go off, it will kill you. And you're going to keep stepping on your third of the plate that is not covered in corruption, and that will in time capture said plate. KALLI will show up and try to do damage to you. If you just shoot her, she'll eventually teleport away. You will know that you've captured said plate because a knight will appear. Once that knight appears, you have to kill that knight, and that counts as the plate being captured. If you capture a wrong plate, an ogre will spawn in the middle of the room, and then obviously the doors will not open. So there is my knight spawning there, and we're going to go ahead and take him out and deem this plate captured. If you guys want to play raids with me or Dylan, or just want to follow my content, join the Discord. I have the link in the description below. We have about 120 of y'all in there. Our community is growing rapidly, and I'm loving it. But you do get first dibs to join us in raids, and then if we can't get enough people, then we obviously do just a looking for group. But people in the Discord do get first dibs, and we run raids pretty often. Anyway, so in the bottom left there, KALLI conceives an ontological weapon has appeared, so she is now teleporting in for damage. So we all get together, drop a well. Linears work really well for this encounter, so do rockets. And you keep damaging her until eventually she'll charge up, and you will see what that looks like in a second. At the same time that she charges up, doors will open. There you go. So she's now charging up for her white mechanic. Get your last couple shots in, and then you're going to head into a door to protect yourself from her white mechanic. After that, the door will open back up. You can go out, and she will teleport to another symbol for this 1 damage phase. This is all still considered 1 damage phase. Eventually, after you do that enough times, you will get her weak enough to where you can go ahead and just finish her off, and then that is the first encounter completed. Now, of course, I'm not going to show you the raid without showing you the secret chest, so I'm going to include that. Between KALLI and Shirochi, there is going to be a bridge with a pillar in the middle, and you're going to follow the location on screen, jump down here to get the first secret chest of the raid. Start off by assigning roles. 3 prism players, 1 player for the Eye of Riven, and 4 players for plates. Players will add clear, making their way to Shirochi. The prism players are going to shoot each other with those prisms, forming a triangle around Shirochi. This will start damage phase. The player for the Eye of Riven will super with the Taken Essence, interrupting Shirochi's white mechanic. Shirochi is damage gated, and only a small chunk of damage can be done at one time. Repeat steps 2 to 5 until you make it to the plate room. Once in the plate room, symbols will appear on the wall in a 3x3 like grid. 4 sections of the symbol will be missing. Starting top to bottom, left to right, jump on the plate that matches the missing symbol that you are numbered. Repeat all the above steps until the encounter is completed. Now, of course, visual representation time. You are going to get into the encounter here, and you're going to see a lot of cursed thrall, or taken thrall, whatever, thrall. And you're going to add clear and make your way over to these plates over here where the prisms will be, so that you can start your first damage section. Okay, once those prisms are there, you're going to jump on the plate, shoot each other, forming that triangle, breaking the shield. Now you can start doing damage. Swords work really well for this encounter. Shotguns, tractor cannon, whatever, but we used swords. Once you've done enough damage, you are going to then keep making your way along the pathway, making your way to the next plate, taking the next prism, and forming another triangle. And then, of course, doing damage again. The really only complicated part of this encounter is going to be the plate room. So once you make your way inside of the plate room, on the left you can see the symbol up there, and you can see that there are 4 sections of that missing. So how that's going to look is this: top to bottom, left to right. So that makes middle left 1, middle 2, bottom left 3, and bottom middle 4. I was number 2 in this situation, so I'm going to be jumping on the middle plate. Once you capture that plate, you will then rotate clockwise, and there will be another symbol on the wall in the middle, and then a third and final symbol on the right. You will see that here in a second. But I am going to be middle symbol as I am number 2, so in a second here, I'm going to rotate to my right, and I'm going to jump on the middle symbol, capturing it. Now, you want to do this in a timely manner because Shirochi's song is counting down, and you do take damage when on the plate. So here's the next symbol. Top to bottom, left to right is how we did our numbering system. So top middle is 1, my plate is going to be 2, which is the middle left, and I will jump on it there. And you're going to keep repeating this and keep making your way climbing up this kind of spire. After this section, you do jump puzzle your way up to the next section and keep damaging Shirochi with those prisms, shooting a triangle around her, and eventually you will complete this encounter. The only real tough part with this one that people might not understand is the plate reading or the numbering off parts, because that can get a little hectic and confusing. So, again, I'm going to show you where the second secret chest is for this raid, and it's going to involve a little bit of platforming and not falling off the rock like I just did. So you will make your way up here, and you're going to jump from tree branch to tree branch, essentially. Just think of it like that. Normally I come from the other way because I do the Morgoth checkpoint and I fly over, but tree branch to tree branch, then you're going to go up, and you're going to go to that tree branch, and then you will immediately see the secret chest on the other side here when you go up, and there is your second and final secret chest that drops new loot as well. Split into 2 teams of 3, one taking left and the other right. Teams will start by picking up Taken Strength spawning around the arena. A player may only hold 2 Taken Strength at one time. 3 will insta-kill the player. Taken Knights called Eye of Riven will spawn. Once killed, will drop a Taken Essence. Players with 2 Taken Strength will have a chance of being frozen by Morgoth. Players need to take that Taken Essence and cleanse that player. One final Taken Strength will spawn in the same location as the one that started the encounter, and this will start Damage Phase. Damage Phase will take place behind Morgoth against the door. Morgoth during this will be regaining strength. Once he reaches 100%, he will wipe everyone. To avoid this, one player needs to take a Taken Essence and super Morgoth with that once he reaches 90%, and then you can move on to a second phase. I will say Morgoth is very, very weak, and we did this with supers and sweet business, so just bring your best DPS and should be no problem one phasing Morgoth. I'm going to keep this entire encounter in because it is short and not a whole lot to it. So 3 ogres will spawn in the back, kind of by where Morgoth is. Once you kill them, that's when your Taken Strengths will spawn, and I will show you what that looks like. So Taken Strengths are now spawning. You can see one on the left, and I think there's one on the right. So have your designated picker-uppers, right? So me and Dylan are both picking up Taken Strengths, so I now have a Taken Strength on my left. When a person with the Taken Essence unfreezes or cleanses a person, they will take that Taken Strength buff. So if they have 1 and they cleanse somebody with 2, they will have 3 and will insta-die. So make sure you have your designated Taken Essence and your designated Taken Strength people. So, another Taken Strength, I believe, is spawning, so I'm about to hop down and grab my second one. And I can no longer pick up any more Taken Strengths. I am done. And then in a second here, you can see Dylan is... boom. Dylan just got frozen. So, someone needs to run over and cleanse him. Somebody with no Taken Strength, because obviously then they'll die. So somebody is running over, and you can see right there, they just cleansed them. So now Dylan has no taken strength, and the person that just cleansed Dill now has all of the taken strength. So in a second here, you're going to see the final taken strength spawn in the middle, and the way that we like to do it is whoever picked up that first taken strength picks up the last one as well. So they're going to run over, pick that one up, and we will start damage phase behind Morgeth here. And yeah, we just used super and sweet businesses, and that was enough to take him down. So if you bring your best DPS and you're just going for a quick ad clear, should be no problem for you. And that is going to be Morgeth. Split into 3 teams of 2. Each team will take the following section, either stairs, rock, or tree. 1 player per team will be on ad clear, and the other is going to be your sign reader/runner. Read your middle symbol. Another player will have your middle symbol either on the left, which is Penumbra, or on the right, which is Antumbra. Player whose duplicate symbol on the left will cleanse their plate with the Penumbra buff, and player with a duplicate symbol on the right will cleanse their plate with the Antumbra buff. Once a taken knight named Eye of Riven is killed, he will drop a taken essence. This will read either Antumbra or Penumbra. Take this buff to the appropriate plate to be solved. Incorrect plate will result in explosion killing player. Solve the 3 lock combinations and it will result in the encounter being cleared. So this one's kind of short because it's kind of mechanic heavy, but there's not a whole lot to it. So, for example, I read out my symbol, someone will call that on left or right. So for example, if someone said my middle symbol is bird flying left, I have it on the right, which means my symbol is going to be Antumbra, or my plate. If somebody said I have a bird looking left, that would mean that my plate is going to be Penumbra. So then you just kill the Eye of Riven, you take the taken essence, and then you run it to the appropriate plate. You use the grenade ability to explode and plant on that plate. So right here, we're locked into this area, so I am working with the other teams to find out which section is open so that I can get around to head out to where the plates are. So they called out trees, so that means I take my taken essence and I'm going to run to trees, which is here, so that I can escape to go to the plates to plant. And you're going to do this 3 times. So each section, tree, rock, and stairs, they're all going to plant on the corresponding symbol 3 times, so that's 9 plants total for your squad, and that completes the encounter. So read your symbols, plant again, read your symbols, and then of course plant again. And that's all there is to it. There are 2 possible rooms to go to, Blue Room or Tree, which is often referred to as Yellow Room as well. All 6 players go to Blue Room and look at the door that Riven typically comes through. If you see Riven's shadow pass by the door, Riven will enter into the room that you're in. If not, backtrack to the back wall in the room previous and a joining allies message will appear and teleport you back to the first room. Instead of going to Blue Room, this time go to Tree. You'll have to be quick, but you'll have plenty of time to get there before Riven shows up. Once Riven enters the room, do damage to Riven's left front claw. A well is a must here. Once enough damage is done, Riven will teleport the entire team to the Ascended Plane, and you'll have to do a jumping puzzle back up to a portal to get back to the arena. Riven will try one last team wipe, shoot Riven in the mouth for the remaining damage. Finally, make your way inside Riven and shoot and destroy the heart to complete the encounter. So that's what this is going to look like. We are starting the encounter like you normally would, except this time we're all going to go this way to the Blue Room section. Jump up and you're going to look to the right, and we're going to be looking at this door right here. You may need to turn up your brightness for this, but we're trying to see if Riven's shadow passes that door, which it does not. So we're going to backtrack to this back wall here. You're going to stand against this little crevice is a good area. You stand against this. Once that timer counts down, it will teleport you to the initial room. Once you get to this room, go to the right. This is why it's called Tree or Yellow Room. I've heard both. We call it Tree, but you'll head to this way. and you're going to just make your way to the room that Riven is going to come through to do damage. You can also do the sound thing. If you have really good headphones, you can just listen. You'll hear a thud, and then that is the side that you need to go to as well. Either method is fine. And as you can see, Riven is still not here, so we have plenty of time before Riven shows up. So Riven should be here any moment. There you are. And so throw supers to use what you gotta do. Throw it at her back though, not the front, just so that you don't mess up the encounter at all. And then we used swords for this inside of a well and just did a bunch of damage to Riven's claw. I was, I think, putting out about 600,000 damage, so if you get about that with everybody, this should be very, very easy. So we've done enough damage, and then Riven is going to teleport us to that jumping puzzle. I suck at jumping puzzles, so of course I died, so I'm going to jump cut to when I get respawned. Alright, getting respawned in the main room, and you just shoot Riven in the face so that there's no wipe. But wait, not quite over. Now you're going to want to jump into Riven's mouth, and you're going to want to make your way inside to the heart, and you're going to want to shoot and destroy the heart. Of course, like an idiot, I'm using 2 grenade launchers, so I was not much help at all. But thankfully, I got good teammates. The objective is to get the Heartstone from point A to point B. Players will be selected at random to carry the Heartstone, including the very first player. Players will have a 15-second timer, which will teleport them to another area when it hits 0. Players who are teleported to the other realm will have to pick up Taken Strength, just like in the Morgath encounter. Designate the first person to teleport into this room to always be the last one to pick up a Taken Strength. Players taking the heart to the destination count down the timer so that the player in the other room knows when to pick up the Taken Strength. Doing this will extend the timer. Players carrying the heart will have an aura around them. All other players not in the aura will receive a debuff called Creeping Darkness. Try to stay in the aura as much as possible. It will kill you if it hits times 10. When a player is about to teleport, all other players will teleport with them if they are too close. Continue walking the path and dunk on the final plates to complete the encounter. So, this is what this is going to look like, and I do a cool little like picture-in-picture here because I am the first one to pick up the Heartstone, so I want to show you what it looked like from both perspectives. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Heartstone, and then in the top right you can see what it looks like when I'm not the first one to pick it up. So what I'm doing in the big picture here is I'm counting down right now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and now everybody knows to back off so they do not teleport with me. And I now teleport to the other room. In the top right picture, I am now the second person to have to pick up the orb, so I run over and grab that. So I am now counting down to myself, in a weird way, I guess, for the editing purposes, on when to pick up that Taken Strength. So you can see in the main picture, I'm counting down in the top right, and then 3, 2, and then I will pick it up, and that extends the timer. So you can only do that one time per new runner, and then it forces them to teleport the second time that they start counting down. And this is kind of just a big relay race between everybody. So you just, everything you can do here to add clear. So you see a Taken Strength popped up. I literally said to everybody, I said, this one's mine. Go get your other ones. They can capture theirs whenever. The point is that I get mine last. And so the other person is counting down, and then I make sure I pick that up when they say 2 seconds, 1 second, somewhere in there. So then you just keep repeating that cycle. People outside who are running, they just keep ad clearing and try to help out the walker or the runner. And then eventually, yeah, that is it. That is the entire Last Wish raid completed. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put it down in the comments and I will do my best to answer. Again, feel free to join the Discord. I hope that this deserves some likes and subscriptions because this was a long video and took a couple weeks worth of editing and doing. So thank you guys again. Hopefully this helped all of you out. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support that I've been getting lately, and I will talk to you guys later.